keep trying to keep my son from me, I'm fixing to drag you and Anne-Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne-Marie.
This is on video. I'm very
Please do it.
Right
You
now.
gotta use it, mother. God damn it, I'll take it from you.
Call the police. Call 911.
Where's my son?
911. Kyle Carruth.
Typically, there's bond set, there's an arraignment. Typically, there's a grand jury impaneled. None of those things have happened here. I think it's pretty clear that this has something to do with the fact that Carruth, at one point, certainly, was married to a district judge there.
Not that it's saying that she's done anything wrong, but by the very nature of the position that she holds and who she is, people are going to imply that this is being treated differently.
Welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. Divorces are ugly. They are emotionally damaging, and they have the potential of destroying lives. Not just of the two people involved in the marriage, but also of the children who look on and watch as their parents use them as bargaining chips and tools of punishment. There are so many things wrong about our family law court system. It creates an already hostile situation and boils it over into a confrontational nightmare, placing the children into the middle of a proverbial tug of war. Chad Reed was attempting to pick up his 9-year-old son from his ex-wife Christina for his court-ordered parenting time. Christina refused to let Chad see his son, and a verbal altercation occurred. Christina's boyfriend, Kyle Carruth, retreated into the house and returned with a firearm. At this point, Chad then stepped towards Kyle, yelling expletives and threatening to take the gun and use it against Kyle. Kyle shot a warning shot at the feet of Chad, then Chad reached for the gun, and Kyle shot and killed Chad on the porch. All of this was caught on camera by Chad Reed's wife, Jennifer, who was filming from the car.
So I'm recording this just because I'm supposed to record anything verbal between them because of the past situations. And Christina and Chad are having a conversation 6 feet apart, and I don't think anything, there's no yelling. He's not physically going after her. I mean, he was just like, where's my son? And I see Kyle come out with this gun, and he comes out and fires a warning shot at Chad's feet. And a lot of people don't realize that in the video, that he fires at Chad. And so that's when Chad steps up in a defensive mode against Kyle. It wasn't until he was fired at that he became defensive with Kyle. He just was ignoring Kyle because it didn't have anything to do with Kyle. It was him just trying to find out where his son was. And if Christina had just been the mother she needed to be, she should have just said, he's at my mother's, go pick him up.
Self-defense has been a popular topic on this channel and in this country over the past couple of months. It almost always comes down to, are the defensive actions taken reasonable in the totality of the circumstances? Because the individual reasonably was in fear of losing their life.
Was there the threat potentially that Chad could harm Kyle or get his hands on the weapon, and so as a result, Kyle shot him?
Honestly, I thought it was like a stun gun or a taser gun or something. Like, who's going to bring out, they're having a discussion about a custody thing. There's no physical altercations. Who's going to bring a gun out? Why? If he's in fear for his life, why didn't he go in and lock the door and call the police? I mean, he's not in fear for his life. You can see it in his face. He wanted to do this. And let me just tell you, we've all known each other. Chad and they've known each other a long time. This wasn't a stranger. There was not that danger.
This is such a bizarre and heartbreaking case. None of this needed to happen. A father just wanted to spend some time with his son, and now he never will. Was this self-defense? I honestly don't know. The prosecution would have the burden to prove that Kyle was not in fear of his life and that Chad had no intention of acting on his literal words of taking the gun and using it against Kyle. That's a high hurdle in any situation. The fact that they are not strangers, that they do know each other, and that there is a history tells me that there is more evidence and more patterns that could shed light on the true mental state of both parties that could highly influence a jury in a murder case. But this is where it gets weird, and you might have to get out a flowchart to follow along. Chad and Christina were married but got divorced. They had children together, and Chad had court-ordered parenting time with the children. Chad remarried and was 2 months removed from his wedding day with Jennifer, who was the one filming the incident from the car. Christina was now in a relationship with Kyle Carruth, who was currently married to Anne Marie Carruth, who is a judge appointed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to the 72nd Judicial District Court in Crosby and Lubbock counties. Kyle and Anne Marie have now divorced, but this is a real-life soap opera that seems ripped from the screens of bad daytime television.
In a divorce petition filed by District Judge Anne Marie Carruth, she identified her husband William Kyle Carruth in a November 8th affidavit as someone who is under investigation for shooting and killing 54-year-old Chad Reed. According to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, 3 days following Chad Reed's death, Judge Carruth added a statement on her divorce petition writing, "She was notified that her husband, William Kyle Carruth, is under investigation for the shooting and killing of Chad Reed. She said her knowledge of the incident is limited at this time, but she was very concerned about his mental state."
We've obtained these documents through an open records request to the Attorney General's office, and they show us many things. They show us the DA's recusal from the case and the LPD police report, which listed the police are investigating this case for possible murder charges. Now, to be clear, no charges have been filed against anyone yet, and still no names have been released to the public by any law enforcement. That is, until this Friday, when the Avalanche Journal confirmed a man named Kyle Carruth as the shooter and his estranged wife, State District Judge Anne Marie Carruth, as the elected official involved. Now, we requested those documents confirming their identity, which were divorce filings typically open to the public at the county courthouse today, only to discover the county sealed all of those records since they were published just 3 days ago. We requested the order to seal those so we could determine the judge behind the order and their reasons for doing so, and even that information was closed to the public.
So the family court records of Judge Carruth's and Kyle Carruth's divorce is now sealed, which is very unusual.
I'm not aware of any justifications for that. We've had judges go through divorces. Those are public records.
Rusty Gunter, a local criminal defense attorney, says if anything, certain elements may be redacted. He also says it is the district courts that order records to be sealed.
Just as if there was something that we wanted unsealed, we would have to get a district court order to unseal it. Now, you can make that request as a party that it be sealed.
And on September 30th, Judge Carruth did motion to seal the court records. But the AJ retrieved the unsealed records last Friday, and it was only shortly after that that those documents were sealed. While KLBK News does not know why those records have been sealed, we did request the order granting the sealing of those documents. But those too are sealed. Texas law states a motion relating to sealing or unsealing court records shall be decided by written order open to the public.
Y'all are in a bad position because y'all don't have access to any of the information that these people are talking about. I would be real curious about sealed records. I don't believe they should be sealed.
The standard for sealing court records in Texas is found in Texas Rules of Civil Procedure 76 subsection A. Other court records, as defined in this rule, are presumed to be open to the general public and may be sealed only upon a showing of all of the following: a specific, serious, and substantial interest which clearly outweighs this presumption of openness, any probable adverse effect that sealing will have upon the general public health or safety, and no less restrictive means than sealing records will adequately and effectively protect the specific interest asserted. Obviously, because the records are sealed, we don't know what the specific, serious, and substantial interest might be, but it is very odd that this would occur. Even more strange is that no charges have been filed against Kyle Carruth for the shooting of Chad Reed, especially when the same department charged this man for aggravated assault about 3 weeks later.
On November 24th, a man confronted Jaquavius Williams at his work. Williams left the argument and came back with a handgun. He told the man to leave the property, and after the man stepped toward him, Williams shot him. Police responded, he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault.
This is an eerily similar fact pattern to what happened between Carruth and Reed. They may both be innocent, but one is being considered innocent until proven guilty, and the other has been put in jail waiting to prove his innocence.
But for criminal defense lawyers, the problem is not that Carruth was let go pending an investigation. The problem is that privilege is granted to some and not to others.
If I represent that next person, what I'm screaming for is I want the same treatment.
Complete the investigation before we arrest folks, but that has, like I said, that has not, in my experience, been the practice here in Lubbock County.
We now have our standard. It's up to LPD to live by it.
This is a tragedy. No one made wise decisions. In this situation, no one wins. The children who will grow up not knowing their dad will once again be placed in the middle of an emotional war. As the widow of Chad Reed is now filing for full custody of the children and asking for $50 million in a wrongful death lawsuit. Allegedly, the children of Chad Reed are still living with their mother, who is still in a relationship with the man who killed their father. Truly heartbreaking. Remember that no matter who you are, you have value and you have rights. Don't be afraid to use them, and we'll see you next time, right here on Legal Dissent.